Hey, ooh, it's a little dark in here. Hey guys, Tacoma Comics here, flipping the switch on 2018. Totally did not expect to do a last minute because everybody's busy. Hopefully, you guys have something better to do than watch me. But if you're here and you want to chat, that's cool. Um, my wife and I stayed up late watching Game of Thrones reruns, and the one where Daenerys burned down the temple, which my wife really wanted to see, so we kept watching one more episode. Then I went to bed and I read a bunch of comics. I'm still getting through my stack of unread comics since I've got 2 weeks off. Made a little dent, not as big as I wanted, but I'm getting there. So I would have probably still been in bed. I was supposed to wake up at like 8 and take the brisket out, let it rest, and then get the grill going on barbecuing a brisket. So I got to watch it all day. Bam! Pope is here. So I got to watch it all day, real slow cook. Got to make sure the temperature doesn't rise above 250. So of course, instead of waking up at 8, I woke up at 10 only because the dogs are barking and the kids went to open the door. And we've got an alarm, so we hear when the door opens. And the reason that the dog is barking is because the mailman is here. So I just have 2 packets. I thought I'd open them up, do a little live show because it takes an hour for the brisket to rest and get up to room temperature anyway. So both of these look like they are packaged well. I always appreciate that. And howdy, Genome. Genome, my friend. I watched your contest video, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't have the skills to make a video that I think was going to win. So I was going to shout you out in a video for a bit of support. I want to get your subscribers up, but I had to put like the time and effort it would take me to make a good video to answer all those questions versus the opportunity to win. And I don't think that's going to win your contest. So instead, I'm going to shout you out right here, right now. Everybody go sub Genome up. He's got a real interesting channel going. A lot of comics, a lot of video games, a lot of good stuff. So, like I said, really nice packaging, right? Gemini, folded, comics, blue tape, and obviously bubble wrap. That's the way it's supposed to be. This is from C. Woodard, and you ever forget what the heck you ordered and where it's from? I think this is from. Oh no, okay, I know what this is. Oh, dude, I'm excited about this. So, if you know me and you've watched my channel, and I don't expect that anybody had to have watched my channel, but if you know me, one of my original loves is Uncanny X-Men, Chris Claremont run from like all the 80s is when I read. Oh sweet, I'll let him know. Woodard Genome says he made a wrestling themed video last night. My other love was ElfQuest. Those are the first 2 things that like I collected that I read ad nauseum that I reread. I still remember some of my early ElfQuest ElfQuest moments, and even went so far as to get the ElfQuest role-playing game with some of my friends and the Dungeons and Dragons type of thing. X-Men, I just have vivid like memories of 149 and 180 and 175, and just not even stuff that are like considered keys or anything, but stuff that resonated with me because they were like the first stories I read. So anyway, here we go. That was nicely packaged. I'm big on packaging because I send out a lot of comics, so I want to make sure that I package them well. And Seawood Pope says you're getting a chair. So anyway, Seawood had a bunch of comics, and I got them for pretty cheap. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get every Claremont X-Men. So Giant Size X-Men, #1, and then issue 94, all the way through to 279, I think, is the last one. So one of the almost 200 straight issues, one of the most celebrated comic runs ever straight, one of the longest comic runs. We don't get long runs like that anymore. Spawn and a few others accepted. Hey, Pope, dude, it's been a great running joke, but you deserve that. And, I wasn't selling those satellite Sams anyway. In all honesty, nobody was going to pop for them. So I think it's one of the best stories ever. Totally underrated. I think those yeah, the Satellite Sam's awesome. I think those covers turn people off. I mean, they turn people on, but I think they turn people off from thinking it's going to be a really good intellectual read. And I think it's a phenomenal story. So for any of you who don't know Satellite Sam, um, we're talking like a really um, black and white, early 1950s, dawn of the age of television, all sorts of social issues coming up in there. A murder mystery involving a bunch of sexy photographs found in this guy's dead dad, dead dad's closet, and just trying to get a TV show on the air. And so that's kind of the thing that ties them all together, is this like push by the executives to make TV this bigger thing. The actors getting screwed and having all this internal fights. So well written, so amazing. So yeah, I love that. But anyway, I'm trying to get these early X-Men, and that's really difficult because they're expensive. And so I'm not worried about condition too much. I don't want anything that's totally ripped. But Seawoodard had this lot, and it wasn't going for much, and it had some really nice comics in it. 84. Right there. I don't know much about this one that says Meccano Lives. I will probably end up selling this because it's not, it's pre 94. I already sold. I had like 49 and 12 and one other ones, and I just don't want to go down that road of collecting those early X-Men that are not part of my love, because as collectors, we probably all have that that gene that's a little off that makes us like obsessive about getting runs and collecting things. I'm not interested. I mean, I'm interested in X-Men. I'm not madly in love with pre-Claremont X-Men or post-Claremont X-Men. It's the Uncanny Claremont run that I'm trying to focus on. So I'm not going to make that part of what I go for. So I've got an X-Men 84 that's really cool. It's a 20 center. And then again, I might keep it. I put it on the wall because it just looks freaking cool. And early X-Men is really hard in the wallet, but this is the earliest Claremont X-Men that I own, right? I had like 93, I had something like that. I can't remember, but this is 99. Claremont started with Giant Size X-Men #1 and then 94. This is awesome. Like I said, this is not in the best condition, right? Look at the top corner, but it's a 25 center. So it's from like 1976. I was, 5 years old or something. Dave Cockrum on the art, Chris Claremont on the writing, and there's even a fold in that corner I can fix. So I'm totally excited, not only to read this, because I don't know the stories from like 94 to about 120. I'm not even familiar with the stories, to be totally honest with you. I haven't gotten like an omnibus. I don't know these early Claremont stories. This one I'm super excited about. The Angel is back to murder the new X-Men with their own leader's deadly eye blasts. That is pure Claremont there, right? And look at that lettering. I mean, look at that. Whoever made that choice, probably the artists. I don't even know if they had separate letterers back then. But and if they did, then that's just great choice. The way they wrote it, the color they chose, the font they chose. And probably back then that was by hand. That wasn't a computer font. The all new, all different. we think that's a new phrase for Marvel. That's an old phrase for Marvel. And this is cool because I've got 107. So now like I'm starting to chip away at those early runs. So this is really cool. And this one's in pretty decent condition. I can see there's a little overlap up there or something. I'll have to go see if I can fix that. But yeah, this whole lot cost me like $20 or $30. This was not a lot. So like I said, I'm really excited for this. Super excited for that one. And now these others we're in with a lot. And, I've got a few things going on. I've got, hey, Sam. Yeah. So I've got all of these. I can do a couple different things. I can check to see if I've got the direct market, or if I've got the comic shop or the newsstand ones. And if I don't have, if you looked at Uncanny Kyle Waka, he just did a whole video where he showed his 200 to 300 Uncanny X-Men. and he had like doubles of most of them. He had newsstand and direct market on a heck of a lot of them. So that was pretty cool to have those doubles. So anyway, I've got this one. It's a cool cover. It's the Storm. I mean, I started reading just as Storm was going through this change, and as Kitty Pryde was getting upset because kind of her mentor was becoming a punk rocker, and Kitty was this nice girl from the Midwest, and it upset her. I think people forget that part. They just think about how fucking kick-ass. Ooh, I cursed. How kick-ass cool Storm looks. But the fact is, Kitty Pryde had a huge problem with Storm, like going all punk rock because she wasn't the leader that Kitty remembered. And Storm did this, I think, right about the time that she killed Callisto, who probably isn't still dead, of the Morlocks to fight for leadership. So it was all part of this big storyline in like the 160s and 170s. Like I said, I'll see which version I have, and this might just go. I'm trying to build a comic book spinner rack, and I'm going to put one in my comic book room here, probably over in that corner somewhere. And then I'm trying to going to build one for my classroom, for my kids, my students to read, not my kids, my other kids to read, come in lunch or early in the morning and stuff. So I don't mind having extras of books that aren't like super expensive. I'm not going to put like super expensive books there, but let's just finish off this run. You got that giant size number 200, pretty darn cool. It looks like there's the Brotherhood, or it looks like, I don't know who that is fighting, man. Fighting in high heels, though. That's always tough, man. You got to give people credit. You know, Storm can fly, so that's easier to fight in high heels. But when the bad guy is fighting for Magneto in the high heels, that's pretty tough. So I got 200. I've always loved this cover. John Romita Jr., JR. I love that you can call yourself JR. It's such a great little moniker. But, you know, this is a little maybe homage to the Hulk in Secret Wars when he's holding up the mountain, is crushing all of them. But just this blob center like that, it's just pretty awesome. Yes. Oh, you think that was Miss Marvel there? Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is Miss Marvel with thigh-high boots and a black and green costume. Good call, Pope G. Pope G on the trivia. Woo! So yeah, I've always liked this cover. And then, bam, this one got in there, and this is in pretty nice condition. Some tiny spine ticks. So this one is like a $20-$30 comic on its own in like super good condition. I'm also working this year on pressing and stuff, but this is 221, the first Mr. Sinister. So this is a pretty nice pickup to go in that whole lot. You know, like I said, thank you, C. Woodard. The price was pretty inexpensive. I got a really early X-Men. I got 2 Uncanny runs from Claremont that I wanted, and yeah, I got a few later issues that I can do something with. Not sure what yet, and everything was packaged well. So, you know, I haven't had any problems with YouTubers in the community. Besides the fact that you're not paying eBay fees, everything I've gotten from a YouTuber in the community has been well packed. People either on Amazon.com, those are usually the worst because there's no recall. Like if somebody screws something up, you know. There's no buyer protection the way there is if you get something on YouTube that's just not as advertised. So I've had a few bad things on YouTube. I've had a couple really horrible things on Amazon, and I've had some good sellers on Amazon own up to it, which is pretty cool. Anyway, this one is from Tu Mua. If you're not subbed up to Tu, he just has the comic book knowledge, and the comic book collection is awesome, and his sales are great. 2 of these books, he was selling 2 for $20 about 6 months ago, and I guess he did not get rid of them. So they were down to $5 each. So I picked those up, and then I picked some other stuff up. I can't even remember what I had. Nice packaging. He uses the free. You can get this stuff free from the post office, which is pretty darn cool. And he just wrapped 2 of them, so you got like outer bubble wrap, inner bubble wrap. That's $7 flat. Shipping, and you can fit a good number of books in here. I'll tell you a secret too. I like the way he did this with the double, but if you take a Gemini and you cut off this overlap bit in here, right? Just this overlap bit on the top and bottom on both ends. You can actually fit one of these in here. Like right now, it's a little too long, but if you cut off that overlap, you can fit a Gemini in here, shipped for $7. I mean, depending on the weight, something like this can be more or less than $7. But if you get it into one of these, it's $7. It is tracking is free and signature is free. Blast it or stash it. Wow, how you guys doing? I was in a hangout last night. I missed your end of the year show, guys. I'm sorry about that. Would have been cool to see. Ooh, looks like these are okay. So yeah, two of these books, like I said, two of these books, I waited, and you know how they say be patient, and sometimes I'm not, and I pull the trigger early, but be patient, and you can get some good stuff. Dang, two packs well as well. Nice job. So yeah, his stuff was on Instagram. So if you guys have stuff to sell, I'll tell you what I did the other day. If any of you saw it, I went live and I was going to just show off some boxes of books I was trying to get rid of, like at the end of the year. And I expected them to stay up on YouTube for a long time. But it actually, everybody in the chat, I had maybe 10 people in the chat, everybody bought a box, and I got 4 boxes to ship out. Discovery Bay Comics was like, hey, would you do 2 of those boxes for this price? And I'm like, well, let me see if I can combine all those contents into 2 boxes, and I can save on shipping. So I saved, he saved, I got rid of everything. You know, I had some end of the year stuff that I was just trying to get out the door, kind of, because I'm trying to make room in here for the stuff that I really want, like that Claremont run that we were talking about. So yeah, that worked out really well. You know, I found that the big boxes didn't do as well as my like more special comics on the auctions, but just kind of an end of the year blowout, like put everything in a, wow, these are well packaged. Sorry guys. Put everything in a, you know, what's it called? In a big $13 priority box. And I got them right there. So one of those is present to JP. I already sent out Pope's present last week. One of those is a present to JP, and the other 3 are the boxes that I sold. And so one of them is a double lot. I mean, there must be like 55 comics in there. And another one is a lot of Miss Marvel. And then another one is just a lot of comics. And then there's the stuff for JP. So that worked out really well for me. If people are trying to sell stuff and trying to figure out the best way, you know, I avoid eBay like the plague. Unless it's an expensive stuff, you don't find YouTubers who want to do that much with the expensive stuff. But yeah, at least not, you know, most of them. I mean, Archangel's probably spent more money on stuff than I have on anything. So, I'm not sure if I got the wrong comic or if, hey, Comic Book Gallery, how you doing? Sorry, I'm kind of mumbling to myself because there's a lot of tape on these. I'm trying to get it all off. One of these, I'm not sure if I claimed the wrong one or if he just threw in an extra. 2 usually throws in extras. I do know that. So let's see. These are the 2 books that I was trying to get right here. You know, he had these, like I said, they were $10 each about 6 months ago. But now they were $5 each. So I got 2 Young Avengers number 6, which is nice because I wanted to send these off to JP. He's trying to pick up some Young Avengers. So I took my Young Avengers 6 out of my collection, put it in that box there. And then I got these 2. So I got 2 copies now. I've had 2 copies. I've had 1 copy. I've had no copies. I got 2 copies again. This is the first appearance of Stature, which is Cassie Lang's as her superhero thing. A lot of people spec on that. That is going to be, she's going to appear in the next Ant-Man movie. I don't know. You know, I'm trying not to get too hyped about speculation. This is just an awesome comic book run. You know, and speculation exists because a lot of time of keys, and it's nice to have keys even if you're not trying to flip them. So I think that speculation is cool, but once it's confirmed, you then have a key comic, and it's not like you're just buying something hoping that it'll go up in price. You're buying something because it's a freaking cool comic to have. This is the one I don't think I ordered, the kind of metrosexual underwater namer. um, unless I wrote down the wrong thing. I don't think I ordered this one at all. I think it just showed up because, like I said, Two likes to throw extra stuff in his lots, so that's pretty cool. That will probably go as a reader copy for my students. The Young Avengers, but here's the two that I wanted. He had this one really cheap. You can't go wrong with a second copy of this, right? This is just gorgeous. I love. Okay, Genome, you win. I wish I was having a comment of the year contest because you win. Genome says it looks like he is the manager at the Atlantis Starbucks. I don't even know what that means. That's great, dude. I am jolly laughing here like Saint Nick got stuck. All right, enough. This was why I got it. I have a crush on Crush. I really want to get that costume variant with Crush on the cover, where they show like her design stuff, because I just think that's awesome. I've never even read a comic book with Crush in it. I just think the design of her character is so freaking cool. I love this cover anyway. I think Teen Titans 20. I got to look. I can't remember if this is a second copy or not. I'll go take a look in a second. So that was it. Just some small stuff, but I got 2 boxes in the mail today. And like I said, I got that brisket waiting to settle after I wrapped it in spices last night. So I have an hour to kill before I do anything with that. So including the Namor Atlantis Starbucks manager, there is Art Germ on Catwoman. I think that's 4. That's my second copy of that. Teen Titans 20, I think, is that the first appearance of Crush or the second appearance of Crush? And just that really cool cover. Like I said, if anybody has that costume variant and wants to sell it, let me know. Or trade it for a Young Avengers number 6. That would be pretty darn cool. There is, and this is officially now, the Atlantis Starbucks manager, Namer. I'm sorry, ma'am, we don't have soy down here today. First appearance, Mr. Sinister, X-Men 221. X-Men 206, a little fight with the Blob, a little homage to the Hulk holding up the mountain in Secret Wars number whatever. X-Men 200, the first trial of Magneto or something. Ones I'm really excited about. Oh, no, sorry. There's 178, just a cool punk rock cover with Storm fighting the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And then the ones that I'm super excited about, I love that lettering on that one too. This is X-Men 106. This is X-Men 99. That's the earliest Claremont now. So I'm really excited with that. Thank you, Comic Book Gallery. This is all a winning from C-Worded for pretty inexpensive. And this is an X-Men 84, which I'll probably sell. Don't expect to grab too much for that. Sometimes when you get a lot, you get you get some stuff that you didn't need in the lot, and that's okay. People are trying to get rid of stuff, so you help them out. Hey, Comic Book Gallery, if you're hit me up, and we'll talk about a decent price for that. It's not in great condition. Let me show that to you so you see what you're getting. Right, you got a little divot up there. Down there, you get some pages. It's intact. Staples are intact. But let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is not a great copy. If you're just looking for a copy that's intact, I mean, the staples are there, the cover's not falling off. It's a little weak on the cover, but the pages are really nice. So stuck them over Squirrel Girl issues. Yeah. So I mean, it's coming loose, but it's totally attached. right? And the pages, the interiors are probably the best part about this comic, actually. No Squirrel Girl in here, though. You're right. C. Woodard, he might have thrown some Squirrel Girl right in there. Um, yeah, the pages, the intact pages. Nobody wrote their name on it, which is nice because that happens a lot with these old comics. So yeah, I'm gonna just throw my email in there. Comic Book Gallery, send me an email. And we'll discuss a fair price for this. I'm not going to let this go too expensive because it's not in great condition. It's the end of the year. I like good karma, and you guys are all good people, so not looking to rip anybody off. I will, however, take this tape off because I actually don't put tape on my Mylars at all. I want to find the self-adhesive Mylars, but I just fold them over. They stay in the racks forever, and they stay like that. So there you go. And I'll put another backing board in there or two as well. So yeah, hey guys, I'm going to go check on the brisket and get the temperature of the barbecue up to 250. It's actually easy to get it up to 250. It's hard to keep it at 250. But got a 5-pound brisket. I've been marinating in brown sugar, paprika, salt, and pepper all night. And it should come out real good. I overdid it a little bit. Thanksgiving, we did the same thing. It was just a smidge. Went up to about 300 for about 20 minutes at one point, so it came out a smidge dry. But I left more of the fat on. When you buy brisket, it comes like a thick layer of fat. I left it all on this time. Hopefully that'll protect it, and I can just go ahead and cut it off later if you want to. Big Lion Cat, my friend, how are you? Unfortunately, you're going to have to catch this in the rewind because I've been talking for half an hour and I got to go start my brisket now. But thanks for joining us. Pope, Genome, Comic Book Gallery. Who else was in here? Blaster Stash It and Sam's Tangled Web. Thanks for joining us, guys. I appreciate it. Hope you guys all have a great New Year's Eve and a great New Year. I will catch you later. Goodbye.